I'm your practicing baby Taoist. And today I am going to do the weekly forecast for Sunday, February 5th, 2023 through Saturday, February 11th, 2023. Now, you remember that when we look at the I Ching readings, what we're looking at is what is the energetics of the week. And when we look at those energetics, we're given some ideas of how we can best interact with the energetics so that we are able to get the best result from the week. So it's not about saying that, oh, you're going to have like the best week ever, or you're going to have like the worst week ever, and whatever the reading says, that's what you get. What it is about is how the energetics are going to be flowing that week and how you can match the energetics. So it's like if you're swimming in a stream. If you swim downstream, it's a lot easier than trying to swim against the current. So by understanding the energetics, you're able to swim with the stream. Okay, so let's throw the I Ching. Let me see here. Let me throw the first line. Oh, it's a yang line, and it's a yang line. Here's the second line. Oh, look at that. It's a yin line, and that's a yang yin line. Okay, let's do the third line. Well, that is a yang line, and that's an old yang line, so that's a changing line. And the fourth, that's a yin line, young one. Fifth, well, that's a young yin line again. Well, no, that's an old yin line. That's a changing line. And then we have the last one, and look at that. That is a young line. So we have on the inner trigram, the bottom one, we have fire, and on top of that, we have the mountain. So not necessarily a bad hexagram. That's hexagram 22, grace, beauty, adorning. You know what this hexagram is about? It's about social etiquette, understanding how to interact from your station in life. And, you know, if you're in corporate America, they're really big on interacting from your station in life. So, you know, I think if you look at this, it took me a while to think about this, but I think this is about staying in your own lane. And it's about showing the proper response based on your status in life. So, you know, that one is, so that's really going to be about wisdom. It's going to be about you thinking about how you're interacting with people and maybe not saying what's, you know, on the tip of your tongue as much as you want to say it, but understanding how people view their positions and their authority and being responsive to that. And so you can look at if you're a neighbor, and that's another position that you have in life is who you live next to, your neighbors. And there's expectations of how neighbors are going to act. So the expectation is you're not going to do something to harm your neighbors or to make your neighbors super upset, that you're going to consider them too when you make your decisions. What about in a relationship with your significant other? There's going to be expectations of what that relationship is and what kind of social etiquette is in there. Friendships, same thing. There's going to be expectations on friendships. And I guess this social etiquette thing, it's really about people's expectations of you and that you're willing to accommodate those expectations. And that's going to be really important at the beginning of this year because we have so many different roles. I mean, if you just look at when you wake up in the morning to your first 2, 3 hours awake, there's going to be so many different roles that you're playing in that time alone. And it's those roles that each one of them will have these different expectations of who you are and how you would act in those roles. And the beginning of this week is really about acknowledging that you're playing this role in your life with the people around you, and to fit those expectations into your life and into how you're interacting with people. It's almost like some guru thing, you know? Instead of being all wrapped up in what you're feeling and what you want to do, is really starting to take a step back and take a breath and understanding that you do have a lot of roles in this world. And this week, see if you can think about what the expectations are in the people that you're interacting with, in the role that you're interacting from, and see if you can be more responsive to that. So stay in your own lane. And this is a little bit about the bunny, because this is the rabbit year, and that bunny has a tendency to be mild-mannered, compassionate, and kind of go with the flow kind of bunny. So this hexagram in the middle of the week is going to be changing to 27, where that third line changes from a yang line to a yin line, and that makes the inner trigram, the bottom one, thunder, movement. And this one, again, so the first part of this week is really starting to understand about society and staying in your own lane and just being responsive to where people are and where they think you are. So this is not just what people think, but where people think their status is, but where they think your status is, and staying in your own lane. And this next part, which is about where we are right now, which is nourishing your inner wisdom and your ability to discern. So when you do this etiquette thing, you've got to be careful what you nourish in yourself and others. There's a lot of times where people make judgments that have no accuracy whatsoever, and you don't want to let that nourish what's really going on in your life and in your world. So sometimes staying in your own lane can feel very degrading, and sometimes staying in your own lane, when it feels like that, that might be something that you created for yourself in your head. So make sure to think about how you're nourishing yourself and your wisdom. So this is the food you take in from ideas and beliefs, and make sure that you keep that super positive. That's going to be really important in the middle part of this week, because if you can do these first two parts, and it's almost like a practice for their bunny year, it's understanding how to stay in your lane, and even when you're doing things that you don't like, understanding how to keep everything positive and understanding and thoughtful, being able to discern what's right and wrong, and being able to stay on the right side of things. Nourishing yourself with that kind of beauty is the second part of the week. So this really big self-guru year or week, right? This is a really big week for you to build up your guru skills. And if you can do that, then the end of this week is about increasing. It's about gain. So the first two hexagrams are from pre-birth or prenatal hexagrams, and then the last hexagram is the physical world. And so if you can work on your interior spiritual self in the first half of the week, then what's going to be really cool is in the last part of this week, you are going to see in your physical world that that's going to give you some really positive increases and gains in your life, that you're going to be able to reap some rewards from that. So that is the wisdom for this week. And hopefully it can help you work through this week and make your life a better place.